The Lord is gracious and compassionate, slow to anger and rich in love. The Lord is good to all. He has compassion on all he has made. All you have made will praise you, O Lord. Your saints will extol you. They will tell of the glory of your kingdom and speak of your might, so that all men may know of your mighty acts and glorious splendor of your kingdom. These are our words from the guide of life today. Psalms 145:8. My friend, if you are new here, welcome. Lots of love and respect to yourself. Here we react to videos that will blow your mind, leave you laughing, and others will educate you on some things. And all this, my friend, is with the intention of spreading love, peace, honesty, and forgiveness to all Earthlings. Hit the like button, subscribe, and watch till the end kindly. But before we dive in, let's also pray. Thank you, Father, for goodness of life. Thank you for this day, Father. Thank you for joy, Father. Thank you for our animals, Father. Thank you for this soul watching from wherever they are, Father. Bless them abundantly. Thank you even for today's fruit, Father. Guide us and be with us, Father, till the end. In Jesus' mighty name, we pray and believe. Amen. Let's dive in. What is this here? In this first video, we see an illustration of a pool ball put on a rotating plate here, and the ball also starts to rotate. This is unbelievable. What type of illustration could this be? Oh, look at this. The ball moves, starts also to rotate in the manner of the disc it is kept on.
Dude. Oh my God. Be careful.
It's hot in there.
Yep, that's cool. Get a close up.
What you're looking at is a volcano that spews the coldest lava on Earth. It's called Oldonyo Lengai, which means the mountain of God, and is found in Tanzania in the East African Rift Valley. And despite the Rift Valley being home to Africa's most active volcanoes, none of them share the unique properties that Oldonyo Lengai has. All other volcanoes on Earth spew a cocktail of silica and oxygen, while Oldonyo Lengai is mostly calcium, sodium, and dissolved carbon dioxide. As a result, Oldonyo Lengai is the only known volcano in the world to erupt carbonatite, making it the coolest lava on Earth, literally, erupting no hotter than 510 degrees Celsius versus the typical 1,160 degrees Celsius. It is so cold that a Maasai porter fell into an active lava flow in 2007 and survived. Of course, he was still severely burned, but he was able to climb out and live to tell the tale. That certainly would not have been the case if it was a regular volcano, which is why you may have noticed the lava flow isn't a glowing red-orange. Honestly, it kind of looks like mud, this blackish brownish color, and that is from the carbon. Fresh lava flows black but then cools white because of the chemical reactions that occur when the lava absorbs water. And this difference in chemical reactions is really, really important. For example, Mount Kilauea contains 52% silica in its magma, while Mount St. Helens contains 64%. That 12% difference is the main reason why these two volcanoes behave so differently. Now imagine Oldonyo Lengai, whose magma only contains 3% silica. Geologists state that this chemical composition is something you'd more expect to find on a different planet. In fact, geologists have even said that Oldonyo Lengai is likely the only carbon volcano in our solar system. On top of that, because the magma has less silica, that means it's less viscous, making it not only the coldest lava flow on Earth, but also the fastest. Ultimately, we don't actually know how El Doño Lengai came to be. Some experts believe that at one point silica magma did erupt from this volcano, and then over time it started to mix with the natural elements in the area to eventually form a brand new magma. But the origins of this carbon magma is still a mystery.
POV, you are diving inside the water and then you see this. This is what is that? Is that a fish or a boat?
This kind of flower, you better not keep it easily because its appearance is too high. It is the beauty of the succulent world, the mountain rose that changes color with the ceiling. Its growth period is green, and as it grows, it turns into a delicate peach color. It is beautiful yet not delicate, requiring minimal care. Just water it occasionally, provide some ventilation, and even if you are a lazy beginner, you can still grow it well.
Did you know that your palm will actually tell you how many children you're going to have or already have? This is so simple to see, and I'm going to show you right now, so you're going to find out in this hot second. Forewarning, you're about to find out how many children you're going to have, so if you don't want to know, scroll past. But if you do, just pop a yes me in the comments below so I know how many of you are actually interested. Let's show you now. Okay, so I need you to make a fist and just pay attention to the two lines there and there on your palm. Okay, so make a fist, right hand by the way, and just take a look between these two lines. So in between that space, you will see these lines here. I want you to count how many you can see. So have a quick look now. It's a bit blurry on there, but if you can count how many you can actually see on your hand. So mine shows 3. So 3 lines in between, 3 lines. And I actually have 3 children, so mine is correct. What is it for you? Let me know. Can't wait to see how many of you have seen how many children you're gonna have.
The Bible doesn't accept slavery. Jesus freed the slaves in Egypt. What? I'm sorry, but what version of the Bible have you been reading? I don't think I've ever come across one that said that Jesus was in Egypt freeing the Israelites. Pretty sure that was Moses. Who, fun fact, likely never existed. No, like seriously, there's no evidence that Moses ever existed. He's just another character in the Christian mythology. But let's circle around back to that first part. The Bible doesn't accept slavery. Really? So first I want to make it clear that we don't care about what the Bible accepts, we care about what the God in the Bible accepts. Cool? Cool. Leviticus 25:44-46. Your male and female slaves are to come from the nations around you. From them you may buy slaves. You may also buy some of the temporary residents living among you and members of their clans born in your country, and they will become your property. You can bequeath them to your children as inherited property and can make them slaves for life, but you must not rule over your fellow Israelites ruthlessly. So basically it's saying that you can own other people as property as long as they aren't from your tribes. As long as they're from other lands, it's totally okay. Or how about Exodus 21:20-21? Anyone who beats their male or female slave with a rod must be punished if the slave passes away as a direct result. But they're not to be punished if the slave recovers after a day or two, since the slave is their property. These are rules about how to own people as property. And if that's not being accepting of it, then I don't know what is.
This fish is already dead, it just doesn't know it.
If any of you guys own fish and you're unlucky enough that your fish is doing this, that means it probably doesn't have very much longer on this earth. This is a TikTok video that I was tagged in. This person owns a betta fish, which is a relatively common choice of pet for fish owners. And the main focus of this video is the fact that the betta fish appears to be swimming in a circle, almost like it's chasing its tail. Now, unfortunately, this is not common behavior for fish, unlike other animals where they will chase their tail. This means that something very serious is going on and that they more than likely have a parasitic infection. The parasite that we're referring to is this one right here, Myxobolus cerebralis. This parasite will get into the cartilage, which will then become inflamed, causing pressure on certain nerves, which makes the fish go in a whirling pattern. Because of this whirling behavior, this has come to be known as whirling disease. This parasite is also generally contracted through tubifex worms that the fish eat, so if you're getting tubifex worms and feeding it to your fish, make sure that you're getting it from a sustainable and reliable source.
That one is an animal.
This one is an animal. Which animal is this?
I also don't know which one, but it's an animal, but they eat it.
English people, they eat these things.
They eat this animal.
Hey, English people, you don't stop to surprise me. All animals is like they are edible in that side of the world. Oh, poor creature here, my God. What? This one will also be someone's snacks. What?
This side of the world, some animals we just let them be.
From here, my friends, some of the animals we just let them be, you see? Because some of them is not like they were even meant to be eaten. Just for them to stay with us and spread good vibes. But now, I'm surprised. English people I saw in another episode, they were eating creatures that look like stones. Now in this one, they are eating a creature that I don't even know what it is. Wow, I'm surprised. Now, is this one from the ocean, land?
From the ocean.
It's from the ocean, this one. Ah, poor creature, my God.
I have a definition that
It is not taking someone's lad.
to be lovable,
Yes.
you have to prove yourself materially.
What does that mean?
Make a lot of money, just
Why do you believe that to be true?
because
Do you believe that to be true? Not
no,
really.
but the people that I love believe it to be true.
So what? You're not them. They're not you. They're not living your life. Why do you have to believe as they do?
It just seems true.
Why do you have to believe as they do? In order to respect yourself. In order to love yourself, why do you have to believe as they do? Do you understand that if they are imposing that kind of a belief system on you, that they may think they love you, but it's not love that they're expressing, it's control. Do you understand that by accepting what they are imposing on you as a belief system, that is not love? Therefore, you think that by going along with their beliefs, you are being loved. But you're not. You're just being controlled. That's not love. So you're under the misguided misassumption that buying into their beliefs means that they're loving you. No, they're not.
Well,
Well,
it's
what?
just this one person because
I don't care how many people it is.
Well, it's just this one person that I want to love me
Why? Why do you care?
because I like how I feel when I'm with him.
So what you're saying is, even though there might actually be someone out there who would actually love you even more perfectly, and really love you, you're going to hold on to someone who doesn't really love you in the way that you prefer to be loved just because it's about, 82% of it? That's enough? You're going to settle for that and block the passage block the arrival of someone out there who might actually be able to love you 100% for who you are? Is that what you're actually willing to do to yourself? Just because you think you can't attract someone else any better than this? Is that what you're saying? Nod your head.
I don't think I can attract someone better unless I'm better, and I feel like I
Exactly.
have to make more.
And
I have to-
exactly. And when you allow yourself to recognize that someone who exhibits 82% of the traits that you prefer isn't the person that you prefer, you will then allow him to get out of the way and allow the other person to come in. You're the one blocking love from your life.
The latest high-definition 3D image of the Pillars of Creation. NASA has released a stunning new 3D video called Pillars of Creation. This video combines data from both the Hubble and Webb Space telescopes to present this mysterious astronomical phenomenon in a new way. The Pillars of Creation are an iconic structure in the universe, located 6,500 light-years away in the Eagle Nebula. They are primarily composed of cold molecular hydrogen and dust. The tips of the pillars, shaped like fingers, are being eroded by the stellar winds and ultraviolet radiation from nearby young and bright stars. The structure consists of of 3 main columns of gas and dust, with the tallest pillar reaching a length of 3 light-years. Within the material at the tops of these towers, new stars are being formed. The Webb Space Telescope's powerful vision is more sensitive to visible light, allowing it to penetrate the obscuring dust and reveal the massive stars embedded within the pillars. In the images, these red spheres, which often exhibit jet-like features, are located outside the dust pillars. When the material in the dust pillars gathers enough mass, it collapses under its own gravity, heats up, and eventually forms new stars. Scientists estimate that these young stars may be less than a few million years old. The red streaks we see are likely jets of material being ejected by the newly forming stars.
Why can't lava burn through watermelon?
To be honest, I really don't know why you would do this experiment, but let's break it down. In this clip that I got tagged in, this person is absolutely perplexed because this lava is not cutting directly through this watermelon. The reality here, though, is this is actually molten glass, and you can see that when they try to drop it on the watermelon, it just ends up sliding off to the side and doesn't do anything. And this reaction that you're seeing here is something that's explained using the Leidenfrost effect. And there's only 2 things that need to be present for the Leidenfrost effect to work: a hot surface and water. When a surface is hot enough, like molten glass, and water interacts with it, there's actually a very thin layer of vapor or steam because the water is evaporating so rapidly. This layer of vapor then acts as a barrier, preventing any damage. But more than likely, this watermelon has recently been washed, or there's some sort of water on top, creating this Leidenfrost effect. With that being said, they were able to burn the inside of the watermelon, but of course it still didn't just straight up melt through.
In 2009, the Dutch National Museum announced that a rock given to them from the United States that was supposed to be from the moon was actually just petrified wood. So are the rocks from the moon landings fake? NASA gave out moon rocks to over 100 different countries to have and run tests on and display, and this one from Amsterdam is the only one that showed anything other than moon. Obviously, they had to track down how this rock came into their possession. The museum acquired it when this man, Willem Dries Jr., passed away, and the rock was in his collection. He had received it in 1969 when the Apollo astronauts came back from the moon and immediately did a world tour. Anyway, the Apollo 11 astronauts visited, and on this trip, the US ambassador to the Netherlands gave this rock to the former prime minister, and at this point, he had been retired for 11 years. That ambassador says he doesn't know the details of where he got the moon rock, but that someone in the State Department gave it to him. Now we know that this isn't actually a moon rock, and that makes sense because this tour was 3 months after they got back to Earth, and NASA was not handing out their brand new moon rocks yet. They did, however, hand out a bunch of moon rocks later, and they still do actually to this day. It sounds to me like everyone wanted to impress each other by saying they had a moon rock, and then everyone believed each other. Which is interesting because I don't think that looks like a moon rock. That looks like petrified wood. And don't worry, the Netherlands did get an official moon rock just a couple years later.
Wow, man. This place looks like home. Can see some animals there chilling. Why does this place look like this side of the world? Oh, those giraffes look familiar. Anyway, my friends, we can see out there in the jungle and wilderness different breeds of animals chilling together. Wow. This is good vibes. Man, look, even the elephant there trying to do some back walking. It's good vibes.
It's a standoff between elephants and giraffes.
Hey, it's a standoff between the elephants and giraffes. Man, this is crazy. Oh, but there is one very courageous elephant there. Whoa. Oh, look at the giraffes. My God. All of them ran away. And they didn't want to fight.
That what they are expressing is hatred for some part of themselves. Do you understand? Mm-hmm. It's just that they're in denial about it. Remember that a person who is in denial is also in denial that they're in denial. Yeah. Yes?
Yeah.
Therefore, they may have been brought up to believe that they are not worthy, unloved, undeserving. They may actually feel that they are in judgment of themselves, but they are afraid to look at that because they are afraid that if they do look at that, it will turn out to be true, that they're unworthy. So they will do everything to avoid looking at that within themselves, and that means they have to look outside themselves and project what they don't like about themselves onto others as convenient scapegoats. You follow?
Yes.
So if you understand that those people who hate others are, in a sense, in pain from hating themselves so much, you can have the compassion to help them start to find a way to look at themselves and heal themselves by understanding there are ways to validate themselves so they do not have to judge themselves negatively and therefore would have no reason to judge others in that way. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Is that helpful?
In a sense, yeah.
But
when you have
yes,
group like I'm not able to necessarily speak to these people, or people with that understanding aren't necessarily able to speak to these people. So
why not? Why not?
They are, I guess, but just, do you allow, through that neutral standpoint, do you allow them to speak their mind? Because if you don't allow people to speak,
you can allow them anything because, again, you understand it doesn't really affect you. Now, it doesn't mean you excuse someone who is perpetrating something negative upon another or forcing themselves on another, but you can understand that dialogue and communication and helping them see themselves in a more positive light can work wonders and work miracles.
I don't believe in the God of the Bible. So if that's the definition of an atheist, then I'm an atheist. I don't believe in the God who created the world, who called Israel to be his people, who gave Israel his law, who sent Jesus into the world to die for the sins of the world, who raised Jesus from the dead. I don't believe that God exists. Is there some other greater force in the universe? I don't know, and neither does anyone else. I think that at the end of the day, we're all agnostics, even the atheists. I think that the universe is such an amazing, awe-inspiring place that at the very least it demands some humility. I think that the declaration that there can't be a God is anything but humility. And so that's why I continue to be an agnostic rather than an atheist.
Always be careful of the dreaded Suku Mante.
Many people had no idea what they were looking at and absolutely were terrified when they first watched this viral video. This video that I got tagged in on TikTok went extremely viral with over 40 million views and 1 million likes. And it shows these two very short figures climbing on trees, and they look human in nature, but slightly different, if that makes sense. Now, the account that uploaded this has made numerous videos about this supposed group of people, the Suku Mante. Real Mante people have not been confirmed to have existed here, but they're located in India and they're part of legendary folklore. If the Mante people have existed, they've either gone extinct or they've been assimilated in with other people that settled later and bred with them. This doesn't stop multiple people though from claiming that they've sighted Suku Mante and uploading these videos for them to go viral. I think it's pretty obvious that this account is dressing up people to look like Suku Mante and filming them. Especially considering, again, this group of people hasn't been proved to exist or not exist. We just don't really know at this point.
Or all of those concepts. This is actually what's mechanically happening. You, for whatever reason, are buying into a belief system that allows your energy frequency to match the energy vibration of beings such as you have described, and thus then you are creating out of your own energy a mirroring of their energy and a mirroring of the behavior they would have were they in your position. But you can at any time change your frequency and make yourself invisible to that reality.
How do I do that?
By acting on your highest joy, by having belief systems that you know are beliefs you prefer instead of holding on to beliefs you don't prefer. Because you see, you are creating your physical reality experience with what you believe to be true, what you define as most likely, most probable, most true. Whatever belief you buy into will be the reality you experience. But you can change that. If you know you can change your beliefs, you can also examine what beliefs you would prefer to have and know that when you decide that there's a belief you would prefer as opposed to the other one, that that belief will also be just as true and give you the same kind of experiences that are relevant to that belief as the other belief gave you. Because it's up to you to decide what beliefs are true for you at any given moment.
There is an extremely classified document dealing with religion, and it's about that thick. Period. But why would there be any classified material dealing with religion? That we're containers. That's how supposedly the aliens look at us. That we are nothing but containers. Containers of? Containers. Maybe containers of souls. You can come up with whatever theory you want, but we're containers, and that's how we're mentioned in the documents. That religion was specifically created so we have some rules and regulations for the sole purpose of not damaging the containers.
The souls. Meaning,
well, the souls or the bodies, whatever. That's
meaning like we're containers for souls that they're going to use at some other point.
Right.
And that they had something to do with different prophets and biblical figures.
Yeah.
Boleh main. Boleh ni lah. Tahu ke dia? Boleh. Boleh kilo dia. Wah. Why?
So remember how I said we just recently jumped a massive timeline, like collectively? So evidently I'm a little late to the party on this, but we have a new Mandela effect. I'm not saying the two are related, but so who else is on the timeline where Richard Simmons passed away like a decade ago? Just me? I don't think it's just me, because I've seen a couple of other creators being like, what the actual... There's another Mandela effect surrounding Richard Simmons as well. May he rest in peace, by the way. The Mandela effect being that he no longer is shown wearing any headbands, and I remember growing up watching his aerobics videos. My mom was super into aerobics. He had headbands. They were, I think the one I remember was pink. So yeah, there's some shit going on, y'all.
Remember that all disease starts in the gut. Men's gut used to look a lot more like 8-packs back in the day, and their testosterone used to be through the roof. Because the strength of a man is in his gut. Job 40:16, all disease starts in the gut, according to Hippocrates. When we start to fast, a 3-day fast increases your testosterone like 2,000+%. It's wild. As well as your HGH, your GABA, all of these important neurochemicals, the BDNF, brain-derived neurotropic factor, miracle growth for the brain, all this stuff goes up significantly when you start to fast and you get away from the food. The number one cause of early death in the world is overeating or eating or over-consuming bad food. That's why when we heal the gut, we heal everything else, because the gut is the second brain and it's the immune system. 90% of your immune system is in your gut. This is why they're putting all this garbage into the food that we're eating, is because they want to take away the strength of a man that's in his gut, Job 40:16. They want to put man in a state of dis-ease or fear. Because remember, these fake foods are robbing your body of the copper and magnesium that it needs in order to be able to thrive. Magnesium magnetizes the gut-blood-brain barrier. And the gut really just equals the matrix when you look it up. So all that open the gut or the matrix are mine, Exodus 34:19. That's why we made you guys a Bible health book, because the Bible really just equals a medical textbook. And when we start to read it correctly and interpret more than just one meaning per line, we're able to see that it's a book about the water and the spirit, the physical and the spiritual. When we start to combine the physical and the spiritual, we get a huge blessing, guys, because the kingdom is on the other side of that verse.
And in other places, these birds here that we have seen in different episodes talking, they decided to do other human-like activities, and they destroyed their house. Look at the sheep running from the dog there. Hey, they are probably, oh my god.
There he goes.